Number 10, we're talking about a quick summary of my process thus far for anyone that's new, for anyone that's just lurking, that's not really informed on what it is that my life is to this point. Let's get into it. And then also, this song is actually one of my buddies. It's fire. His name's Laser, and I already told him 2.5 years ago I'm gonna be back left, maybe even behind stage when he's playing EDC, so I'm excited for it. This is gonna be a fun one. I'm actually really excited to bring you this summary, so let's get into it. Whoop. Yo, what up, Josh? I appreciate you always plugging into these big dogs, bro. Big ups, like I really appreciate it. I'll get into what I do here in like 2 seconds. If you stick around, I assure you. That was fun. All right. I am going to sit in that chair over there to briefly summarize. I'm going to make it quick because these have all been like sub 12 minutes, or not sub, roughly around 12 minutes, and I'm trying to keep it below that. And so, yeah. So if you didn't notice, that's my bed. Boom, boom, boom. There's my leaning tower of inventory right there. There's another leaning tower of inventory back there. And so, yeah, basically, let's get into it. This is my house garage, which is lit. We're back. All right, my mom called me. All right, so let me actually get a... Let me get a light going here so you guys can actually see me. You know what I'm saying? And boom, bam, wow. Well, that didn't work. Boom. There we go. Okay. Suppose I should have been more prepared, but hey, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? Alright, that's looking fantastic. Boom, bam. Maybe that's a little too bright, actually. Okay. So, what up, Logan? Thanks for chiming in. So I want to summarize my process to this point, because a lot of people have met me recently in my process. A lot of people don't really understand what it takes to, be a successful entrepreneur and get to a certain point. It's not what it seems from social media, right? It is definitely not what it seems from social media, okay? As you can see, I live in a garage, okay? Now, I live in this garage. A lot of people always ask me, and I live in the garage because we've got a big team here. We're running a startup. Somebody had to live in the garage. and it doesn't bother me in any way. It's the least of my problems, being that I have 5 businesses, and they're all very, very, let's say, attention oriented. They require a lot of my time or my employees' time, and a lot of things have to go right in order for them to keep going right. You know what I'm saying? And so, being in a garage, who cares, okay? Material success is the last thing to grow on your fruit tree, okay, on your tree of fruit success, all right? It's a quote from Warren Buffett. Look, I'm not going to dive deep into that now because I just don't have the quote off the top of my dome. But here is the thing, okay? Let me grab water. Whew. Hydrate, always. Okay, so somebody had to live in the garage. Didn't bother me. I opted to do it. Now, that has ultimately resulted in some pretty lame sacrifices. For example, my cat has gone missing. He's been gone for like 6 months. I've already came to terms with it, and you know, it's in the past. It's just one of the tribulations that's in my process, but whack. And that came about from living in the garage. But other than that, no big deal. Now, what led me to being in a garage, running a startup based around my major artistic passion? Well, let's rewind. What year is it? 2020? All right, let's rewind 5 years. 2015, when I graduated from this high school. This is one of my high school t-shirts. And so here's the thing about it. Graduated from American Leadership Academy. It was a little private school in Queen Creek, Arizona. I graduated from there, and you know, it instilled really good principles into me for leadership. Now, also throughout my high school time, my parents shipped me off to military school, so I got that kind of education in more of a firm environment. But that also instilled some good principles in me, and I also got some pretty cool qualifications while there, such as being lifeguard certified. I got into football there and got an MVP award. It's right over there. But once that was all done, high school's behind me, okay, what did I do? I went down the path my parents had set out for me, which was go to college, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to give you the whole spiel. I'm sure you've probably heard it before because your parents might have told you to do it or whatever, okay? And look, here's the thing about it. They didn't mean any ill will. That's the path that has been set out for them. It's their understanding of what it is that you do. You get 18, you grow up, you get a student loan, whatever, okay, that whole thing. I got an honor scholarship, and so I was going to college for actually negative 200% the price of college. I went for 3.5 semesters until I learned on my own personal accord. Look, if you go to college, no harm on you. What up, Hector? Thank you for checking in. If you go to college, no ill will on you, okay? To each their own. There are some pretty important occupations that come from college, but my personal understanding and my personal take on college, based on my own personal experiences, i.e. one of my teachers who was one of the honors department reps literally giving me a 0 on a paper that I stayed up all night and slaved over without even reading it because I didn't double space the header. I came to the understanding that college teaches obedience, not intelligence, and I was being dumbed down to be a part of the system, to be turned into a cog for the system in order to get a stupid fancy piece of paper. That's my perspective, okay? Now, I do understand that college does have some pretty good utility for some people. For me, it didn't, okay? So I decided to drop out. Now we're at early 2017 in my process, okay? And this is where I decided that, after you fall off the path that is the one that is built and designed for you, right, you're going to try and go the other way, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this isn't working, the conformity situation's not working, so I'm just going to try the polar opposite. And so I dicked around for about a year. I quit all my jobs. I was partying as a career, as a profession, for every day, all day, for about a year. And that led me to a lot of depression, a lot of just not really, becoming anything in my life. I was successful in my own right, but it was just not. There was no long-term sense of fulfillment in my process at that point. And I had come to an impasse where I had to evolve and grow in a more fulfilling success-driven white hat way, right? And so that is what ultimately led me to taking up the pursuit of e-commerce and growing myself, developing myself. I got into reading. How crazy, right? I like to read now. That's, if you had told me that in even when I was a high school, graduate, between, being in high school and being an honors college student, someone tell me, oh yeah, I'm from the future, you like to read in the future, and you have 5 businesses based around your major artistic passion of gloving. When I was still in college, I would have said, first off, you got the wrong guy, I don't like reading, and second, what's gloving, okay? Because I haven't been gloving that long, to be honest. I've been gloving for 3 years and 3 months, which is pretty fresh for the art form and how long it's been around. But I'm getting sidetracked here, okay? So coming into early 2018, or late 2017, early 2018, I was just ready, and what I was ready for was the betterment of myself. I told my parents that, hey mom, speaking of when I told my parents, my mom waved, hi. So I told my parents at this point in my process, like where I was at in life and what I wanted to do. My parents, I love them very much. They love me very much. They don't like to admit this, but they didn't believe in my process at the time. Now, that's not to say, Mom, I know you're on here. That's not to say that they didn't believe in me as a human, as an individual. They just didn't believe that what I was telling them I was about to do was, they're like, you're crazy talk. You're a college dropout, and you're moving into our basement as a full-grown adult, and you're telling me you're going to make millions on the internet. What the hell are you talking about? So it's not that they didn't believe in me as a human being, as an individual, as their son. They love me very much, and they presented me the opportunity to live in their house while I grew in scale and got to that point, despite not having a full understanding of how I was going to connect the pieces of the puzzle there. But I just did, and I got in the grind. I switched everything about my life in the process, which is what I've up to this point right now, where we're starting in the story. You can now look at my social media, can scroll all the way back down, and you can paint the picture all the way up from starting entrepreneur, trying to figure myself out, to now. And I'm still also in the process. I'm not saying I'm any significant, I don't have any significant leaps and strides aside from where I'm at in my process. I'm still growing and evolving every day, and I'm doing it very raw and authentically, because I think it's very, very valuable to have these insights up here in the future when people do see my material success and they go, oh, he's lucky. And I'm going to go, no, I'm not lucky. Go look at all my social media with timestamps. 100%. That's the purpose behind this. Exactly 100%. And so here's the thing. A lot of people at this point in my process, I just moved into my parents' basement. Now, mind you, I have 2 vehicles I own outright. But now I'm grinding every day, still at the same point now where I'm at in my process, grinding all the time. I have the money that I could go buy a vehicle, a really nice vehicle that's on my vision board, that it's the time and I want to do it, but it'd be real premature, okay? It just doesn't make sense at this point, because I'm just grinding too hard. And so at that point in my process, I made that connection. I was like, look, I don't have a car payment, I own these, but why am I going to pay $350 a month at the time? Why am I going to pay $350 a month for insurance when I maybe tops drive like, 8 miles a day, and those 8 miles is for me to go waste money on fast food that it's a waste of my money and a waste of my time, and why would I even want to do that? So I sold both of my vehicles so I could have more money to invest with. And I don't know if my mom's still on here watching, but my parents at this point, okay, full-grown adult, moved into their basement, owning 2 vehicles, okay, doesn't have a job, sells both of their vehicles, and I'm like, no, trust. I'm building a business. Trust. It's coming. It's going. They think I'm nuts. They think I'm crazy. They're like, no, you've lost it. You're not doing so great. Okay, nothing's going. What are you talking about? Keep grinding, keep working it, and all the while growing my social media. And growing my ability of gloving as my major artistic hobby, right? So that I could step away from the office space every once in a while and clear my head, alleviate the everything going on, right? And through the pursuits of social media and through the pursuits of e-commerce and developing myself, I leveraged my social media, used my social media to blast out a attempt to get on Face Melt Crew, which is Amazing Lights festival team, because I had so much support from all my social media following. It was roughly 3,800 people at that point, and you can go back, the video is still up there. I think I got like 200 comments, and people were just spam tagging Face Melt Crew and Amazing Lights. So there was no way that I could not, like, they had to put me on. And so they put me on. That was put me into a new pool of individuals and artists that the CEO of this company, Andrew, a lot of you guys know him, Andrew Zhao, really cool guy. He managed to find me via social media, knew I was talented in this. I got e-commerce skills. I'm passionate about art and gloving, and I'm okay at it, okay? The whole pieces just lined up. He said, hey, come out to San Diego. I'd love to meet you and talk to you. This was one day after him. He just slid into my DMs on Instagram, and so literally the next day I was like, all right, yeah, I'll be there. And by the way, I lived in Arizona, and so I was like, yeah, next day I'll be there. Don't even worry about it. So flew in. That Andrew took that initiative as like, this kid's really serious. And we talked. I showed him where he was at e-commerce wise and what my understanding of it was. And I was like, dude, like over here in this area where, I'm a little more versed than you ain't got it going like that. And so he came to realize that I had the skills necessary to grow and scale his company. Got hired, moved out here. Again, now we're where we're at in the process. Actually, now we're 8 months behind in the process because we've been here 7.5 months. But here's the thing: the month I got here, the company had a 98% growth. Now I can't equate all that growth only to me. That would not be fair to my team and all the other individuals working hard on this project. But large in part, there was a lot of large things that I set in motion in that first month. That is what really made that rock and roll like that. So, and by the way, the growth has not stopped there. I'm not going to give you percentages on each one, but we're still rocking and rolling, which is crazy given that our entire industry is shut down right now because of COVID, and it doesn't even make sense with the world, the way the world is right now. How are we scaling and growing when this whole industry is shut down? I don't know, but God bless. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed to be in the position that I am, have the abilities that I have, that I built over studying and working on myself over the last almost 3 years. But we continue to grow, we continue to scale, and it's truly a dream come true. That's where we're at now. I do have a couple people working for me, running my operations, which is a beautiful thing. I have 4 different LLCs, and I'm also involved in a network marketing company, but realistically it's not really my primary focus. I'm more focused on my team and the individuals that I've introduced to the skill set of Forex trading than I am myself getting into the whole building the business situation, because I've got all my businesses that require a lot of my attention. Going back on that point, it's very attentive. Now, mind you, where we're at in the process now, I live in a garage. I own no material possessions, okay? I'm doing really, really well. I'm going to make it's my own video about the difference between wealth and riches. I am extremely, extremely wealthy. I'm not necessarily rich. I'm actually very, very poor, but I'm very poor intentionally, on purpose, because it's called delayed gratification, which I'm also going to make a very, very in-depth video about that, because I'm absolutely going to spaz on you and I'm going to break a lot of your limiting beliefs about how money actually functions and how I'm going to spill it, okay? I'm going to spill some value on you. But I'm actually very, very poor, except it doesn't even matter because my businesses are doing well. I own the businesses, and myself, Jakeb Livengood, I don't have to pay myself to be able to dip and dive and feel the financial rewards and prosperity from the hard work that I have built for myself. If that sounded a little too metaphysical for you, first off, I'm not a legal advisor, I'm not accounting, I'm not an accountant, I'm not an attorney. Don't take anything I say as legal advice. But when you own a business, you only pay personal income tax on money that you take out of the business as personal income. And if you have a certain set amount based on how much money you're making in your business, you can write off a certain amount of things in different things such as entertainment, food, all these things. And therefore it allows you as a human being, as an individual, to have a very, very close-knit budget and live on pretty much nothing. Be very, very frugal with your money because your money has been sent out as an employee. Think about your dollar as an employee, okay? Your money has been sent out as an employee through a high-income skill, i.e. Amazon FBA or whatever it is that it may be that you're doing. And then your money, your employee, comes back with itself and 30% of another one, right? And then you do that again and again and again and again, and you're doing great. But that stops happening as soon as you take the money out of your business and pay yourself with it. So, delayed gratification. I can spaz on that a lot, but this is just not the video for it because I could go on it for 10, 15, 20 minutes. But that's where we're at in the process now, okay? And here's what the thing is, okay? This is something I really, really wanted to touch on here in here, and then I'll end this because this is already pretty long, okay? Right when I moved into my parents' basement, the moment that I did, okay, I started talking about personal development, entrepreneurship, reading books, growing yourself on my social media, on Snapchat primarily, okay? And I was getting all sorts of hate, limited beliefs, all sorts of stuff, bro. It was crazy. Like, I would post YOLOs, anonymous messages, and I would get people that would literally say, dude, you're a loser, you live in your parents' basement, you have nothing going for you, you should fucking kill yourself. People were actually saying stuff like that to me in the YOLOs. I still have them. They're crazy. At the time, it negatively affected me, and I allowed it to lower my vibration. But now, it doesn't even bother me. In fact, it fuels me because it just shows... Here's the beautiful thing, where I'm going with this, okay? When I finally got this position, the people on my Snapchat stopped talking shit. They went ghost. The reason being is because they finally, these people that were talking shit, that were living in a low vibration, that were being negative towards me, they walk by sight and not faith. And so when they saw a massive breakthrough in the material world in my process, it struck them a little bit, and they went, hold on a second, what is going on here? Now, new levels bring new devils. As soon as I got to this point in my process, now I got a whole new flock of haters in the gloving community that absolutely hate me and are extremely toxic in directing hostility and hatred towards me on a daily basis. And it truly is upsetting. And the reason it's upsetting, it's not because the hatred's being pointed at me. I have a lot of empathy for those people. What's upsetting about it is that I've sacrificed everything in my life and I've set my businesses on pause in order to scale an industry that's based around the major artistic passion that I have, that I share with these individuals that are talking shit on me and being toxic and hatred and shoving hatred towards me. Okay, the reason it's bothersome and it's upsetting is because they don't realize that I've put everything. I put everything on the board here, and I'm growing and grinding, and I'm serving this community on an everyday basis, and to then be attacked in that way, it's lame. But I know because of what I've already experienced in my process to this point and how everything's going, and there's a parabolic shift coming. I'm telling you for a fact, there's a parabolic shift coming. I know it. I can feel it. I've never been so certain of anything in my life. And I know the people that are now in the community hating on me, they're the same as the individuals that were on Snapchat not believing what I was talking about when I lived in my parents' basement, saying, oh, you need to read books, you need to build a business, you need to do this, you need to do this. People are like, no, you're an idiot, you live in your parents' basement. And then they go, wait a second, no, now you're running a startup based around you wiggle your fingers and you enjoy that and that's what you do now? Holy cow, this guy really did something in 3 years. Maybe I should do that. That's where the people on Snapchat are at. And now I still spit value on Snapchat all the time. And guess what? I asked my Snapchat, which has 350, maybe 400 people on it. I asked them, if you've ever been positively impacted by me, screenshot this, and I got more than a 25% engagement rate. I got a lot of people listening to me now that are being positively impacted by the personal value that I can share with them through my years of experience. The gloving community is not the same yet, but that's because people judge you based on where they met you in your process, right? And so, like, until you have a quantifiable breakthrough in front of their eyes that they see because they walk by sight and not faith, then they're not going to really believe in you, and they're going to throw shade on you, and it's going to be all sorts of whackness. But if you are one of those individuals that's in the gloving community that still follows me and watches everything that I do on the internet, feel free to scroll through my social media and read the captions. There's a lot of value-packed insights in there. Go on my YouTube. Go watch my old podcasts, right? Overcoming adversity in entrepreneurship and success during the process. Very, very value-packed entrepreneurial-based stuff in there. But that's it. That's where I'm at in the process, okay? The reason why I'm so unfazed by everything is because I live my absolute dreams. I'm laying out my process. I'm in a very, very fantastic place that I've managed to build myself up to. And I know this is only a stepping stone. This is only a mere hop, skip, leap, and a jump before I really hit the levels that I've been visualizing and actualizing on, okay? So, yeah, I'm truly grateful, and I'm truly blessed to even be the individual that I am today, because it's taken many years and a lot of hard work to get here, and I don't take it for granted. So I hope everyone has a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, and I hope you got some value out of that, and stay blessed.